How are you guys?
Great.
We're doing really well, really well. We were just talking about tree trouble, coincidentally.
Tree trouble.
Tree trouble. And I think we all have, oh my gosh, look at this. This is like everyone's worst nightmare when it goes through the roof.
Yes, that would be worse.
Tell us, and this happens all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, all the time. I just saw one of my Facebook friends, they had a giant oak come right through their house. Crazy.
Should you do this yourself?
No.
No?
I don't know. What do we do? What should we do? How do we be protected?
Who are we just talking about? The PT?
Professional tree care.
Yes, professional tree care. Call those guys. Get them to cut that back. I know the picture's not up anymore, but cut those tree branches back. It's more of a preventative thing. Mm-hmm. The insurance companies would love to see that.
Sure.
I think they do inspections randomly, and it's really typically an external inspection, but this is what they love. I mean, they don't want to see, but they would love to have the homeowner's tree cut back the tree branches that are overhanging the house. Any of the preventative stuff is going to be a big thing.
Can it affect your claim if you don't take care of your stuff?
No, no. They're going to cover the claim regardless. I mean, that's kind of what we have insurance for, and not everybody's capable, right? And sometimes people don't realize it.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't look up and say, "Oh, I got a tree overhanging." Right. I'm thinking shade. Oh, I have shade on my house. It's nice. It's going to make it cooler. Mm-hmm. Well, you were talking about the oak. I mean, if high winds come along, wind is a covered cause of loss. It knocks that branch off, and all of a sudden you have an insurance claim. Mm-hmm. So they want to have those cut off. So.
Let's talk about the cost, and you can explain the costs a little bit and why they are what they are.
Well, the rates in the insurance world, I feel like in the last few years, it's been crazy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it has to do with the weather, right?
Yeah.
What do we had tornadoes in Kalamazoo 6 months ago or something like that,
Right.
In a lot more hail claims for roofs, in these high winds and crazy.
The weather has been, we're seeing large events
more extreme
in the state of Michigan where we haven't seen that in the past. I don't think. Did you and I ever grow up with a tornado ever?
No,
I don't think there
not
was
that I
one.
remember.
Yeah, and now we're having them all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, those things all play into, really the trees and the weather and it claims on a house. And this little thing here shows, your insurance rates are going up. Well, in the end, I tell people, anytime money comes out of an insurance company's pocket, they're keeping track of that.
Yeah.
So if we're paying more for claims on houses, it's costing more to rebuild houses. It's costing more to fix cars. And, hail claims on a car. I just, like this morning, I was looking at something. It was like an $18,000 claim on a vehicle, and it probably was peppered with hail.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunately, with the inflation stuff and things are going up and costs are going up. So premiums are following because they're trying to recoup some of those things paid out. So it's good to trim those trees back. Get Doug and Travis over at Homestead. You get them out there and clean they have a sweet tool to clean out the eaves.
The preventative maintenance is so important. This is an interesting one. Let's talk about these windshield chips. Bart. Bart had more than a chip.
I had a chip. In several places. Some kids threw bricks at my car as I was driving.
Yeah.
And I thought, windshield, and $4,000. Yeah.
It's not funny.
It's an expensive windshield. It's not.
It is. So it wasn't just the windshield.
It wasn't just the windshield. There was another little spot, but it was mostly the windshield. And there's all the sensors and technology and.
So I see these windshield repair people all over the place. Do we want to use them, or do we want to? What do we want to do when it comes to the windshield repair?
Well, I will tell you, if you're on the road a lot and you got chips, you can fill those chips.
Yeah.
Jay at Jackson Glass.
Jackson Glass fills them.
$20 or whatever.
Right.
I feel like I just had he kind of laughed because I had a big one. He probably would have rather replaced the windshield, but we filled the chip, and that could last 2 or 3 or 4 years. It's going to keep it from cracking. Once the crack comes, you're in trouble, and you need to replace that.
Okay.
But the reason why I brought this up is I feel like in the office, myself not as much, but some staff in the office are having a lot of these conversations with people, and in the environment we're in the last few years, the rates are going up, and they're looking at windshield claims very similar to, a normal claim. In your case, that vandalism is a whole different kind of
Sure.
animal as opposed to, that's something you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
But a windshield, you get a chip, it turns into a crack. It's not an easy conversation.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's my job to educate you and say, hey, you know what? If you file this claim, your rate's going to go up a little bit.
Right.
So what I'm telling people is we try, and I think we do a good job of this. The more you guys know, I think the better off you are. But go get a quote. Go to Jackson's Guys. Go call whoever and say, hey, what's it going to cost for a windshield? If it, there's a deductible that plays into effect there as well. So I mean, if you have a lower deductible, it's easy to say, hey, yeah, let's file this claim. But I think if it's under $1,000, I'm usually like, hey, if you can swing this, pay it out of pocket.
Yeah.
I tell them it's kind of a pay now or pay later. Like, hey,
Sure.
We file a claim, it's going to tick off in the next few years. It's going to be on your policy, and they're going to rate for it. But again, you come back to preventive maintenance, and fill the chips and do the best you can, and try and not have a larger claim. But
That's why it's important to work with someone you know.
Someone you can talk to.
Absolutely.
yes, and that's
face
the
to
other
face.
thing.
Face to face.
Come in and visit us, talk
That's
face to face.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and visiting with us.
Yes, for
Thanks,
sure.
Chris.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me, you guys.
Yes, from Myers, Lombardini, Lemansky Insurance, MLL Insurance, Chris Cook. More of the morning show after this.